Senator, thank you for the time.
Thank you, Peter.
Watched intently that hearing this morning with Secretary Geithner. He got some pretty tough questions, tough grilling from both you and Republicans. You called for a change in strategy with regard to China. What is this administration not doing?
Well, it's not like this administration. It's been every administration for 30 years that I've been here. They almost have the same script. They just pass it off to the next crowd. So from the Reagan years up to the Obama years, it's a lot of jawboning, and that's basically all the law allows. So you need to go beyond the jawboning. We're not effectively doing away with the manipulation, and that's clearly what it is. They don't like to use that word because it provokes what they're fearful of some trade reprisals. But the fact of the matter is, China's doing a lot of things already that are making it very difficult for our economy to grow, for jobs to increase. When they get a 20 to 40% differential or subsidy, in effect, because of the value of the currency they manipulate, it costs us jobs and costs us the kind of economic recovery we'd like to have. Now, there are things we need to do at home as well. So there's some talk right now of us even drafting legislation with the administration. I don't think there's any likelihood of passing anything through Congress, given the limited time we have here. But I think before the G20 meeting in Seoul, which I'm told these items, particularly the currency manipulation, will be on that agenda, and it should be. We saw Japan the other day begin to manipulate its currency as well. And this is a complete violation of course, the agreements that have been in place since Bretton Woods, where currencies are supposed to float, as we do with ours. So you saw today a rarity, and that is Democrats and Republicans, despite whatever differences, feel pretty strongly about the weakening of our economy at the expense of a Chinese economy that is growing beyond the other issues of things they do with regard to the trade issues and the like.
Are you suggesting this administration, even in the short term, should consider risking a trade war with China? Obviously, this is, as you said, this is an election year, a lot of politics involved here. You're not running for re-election, but you expressed your own deep frustration.
I did. I don't think you get a trade war out of this. Look, we're an incredibly important market for China. I don't think we've been tough enough with them. I think they've looked at us and listed all this rhetoric over the years, and what's come of it? Virtually nothing. And so I think they sit back and say, you know what, we can do exactly what we want to do on this matter. Now, I understand why they're doing it from their perspective. As was pointed out today in the hearing, they try to grow that economy at about 8% a year. They've got to put some 50,000 people a day to work in China, give you a sense of proportionality. Or they worry about the chaos that could occur in their nation. Now, it's not in our interest to do things that would provoke chaos in China. But clearly the advantage they have over us and others as a result of their trade practices and the manipulation of their currency are making it almost impossible for us to have the kind of recovery we need.
So no chance you head to the floor with Senator Schumer's bill just to send a message, pass that in the Senate, say even before the midterm election?
Well, there's a possibility of that, but I wouldn't want to. I think you need more consensus than just 2 or 3 of us in the committee. But something like that, or even putting together a bill before the G20 meeting, could have the desired effect.
And a bill you would work on with the administration.
Absolutely.
Get away with the currency report, that legislation,
that's it.
something new.
So as Tim Geithner said today, look, under present law, all he can do is talk. We've not given him the tools that any secretary might want to have to do more than just jawbone. And he makes a good point on that. It's not enough just to go after administrations. Hank Paulson was no better on the subject matter. In fact, he didn't want to testify in the matter because it was so ticklish 4 years ago. But I think giving this administration some additional tools might advance the cause. You cannot continue doing what we're doing.
Let me ask you about another issue, if I could. Elizabeth Warren, the situation there. As soon as tomorrow, the president could announce that she's going to be a special advisor to help set up this Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. You've raised some questions about that. Is this an end run? Is this a mistake by the administration?
No. Look, Elizabeth Warren's very talented and knows a lot about this subject matter. And as an advisor, an expert, clearly the White House, I think, is clearly within its rights to do that. What needs to be done, however, is we need a director. You've got to have someone that's confirmable. The law requires that there be a director of this Bureau of Consumer Financial Protection and that nominee be confirmed by the Senate. Now,
isn't she effectively going to be operating as that?
Well, you can't do that. You'll end up with too much opposition. You've got to have someone confirmable here. And I'd be totally opposed to someone on a backdoor operation here. We need to build consensus with this Bureau. So Elizabeth, I think, is going to be a great asset for the administration. I have a lot of high regard for her. But we're no different off today than we were yesterday. We need a nominee that is confirmable by the Senate to direct this operation and get it up and running.
Really quick, sir, the Fed nominees, there's been some questions about them. Do you expect to clear at least 2 of them, Sarah Bloom Raskin and Janet Yellen, by the midterm election?
I'm trying every day to do it, and I don't want to speak for all the minority, but I've talked to a number of key members of the minority who have indicated they'd be willing to allow those 2 nominees to go forward. I'm going to have to do a hearing on Mr. Diamond again, because that nomination was sent back to the White House in the August break. I'll have to do another hearing on him, which I'm prepared to do, but if we can get those other 2 nominees done, then I'm prepared to do that.